What is good, everybody? Where do I even start with this intro of a video? Welcome back, firstly. I hope you enjoyed the prep series. By the time this video goes out, there will be a small show day vlog. There's not a lot of content there, I'm really sorry, but as much as it would be great for everybody to film me and Ollie on stage doing every little bit, I also want them people who are there just to enjoy the show for what it is. But hopefully you can get an idea of what's there. There was supposed to be a travel, a travel vlog from my trip to Paris, but unfortunately, under circumstances where my phone got stolen and my iCloud was never backing up, I lost basically all my photos and videos. So I'll see if Amy's got anything worthwhile to make a little vlog, but if not, it's not going to happen. But this vlog is going to be my maybe day one, week one of getting accountable again. So I've done my first weigh-in this morning in 2 weeks. I haven't tracked any food for the past 2 weeks, especially when I was in Paris. I was just full send on the croissants. We're 4 kilo up, and for the first time ever, I'm pretty much at peace with the fact that I've gained weight by eating more food, which when you break it down sounds absolutely mental. That's an obvious, but in previous preps that's been a bit of a head fuck to begin with, and then we've come around to it. But this year, straight away, it's all good, and that's probably because of the use of using the auto planner for so many years, the fact that I've done 3 preps back to back, just learning more about my body and what you have to do to progress. But yeah, done my way in. I'm now at the gym for I'm going to do my photos as normal, which again in previous years I've just sacked it off completely, but I want to do it, and this is the start of they say the off season, you're always on, but this is the start of growing again. We're in a maintenance. I'm trying to do a training split, which I'm going to go through in this video, but yeah, stay tuned, and again, as always, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and just leave us a little comment with a bit of love and support, because it does mean a lot to us. But yeah, stay tuned. Right, I'm clearly a sucker for getting back into routine, obviously, but dinner today, if you can't guess what I'm having, you obviously didn't pay attention to the channel when leading up to show day, but I'm having salt and pepper chicken again with sriracha. I ain't had it since, well, they were leading up to show day, so this is going to be mint. When I was cooking it last night, I remember just how much I love it. And I don't even like Chinese food, so call me out on this, anybody, but Chinese is the worst takeaway you can get. Indian, Italian, fish and chips, whatever, just not Chinese. It's not a vibe for me. Yeah, it's nothing against Chinese, just not my takeaway. Apart from the salt and pepper, big things. Good morning, everybody. I hope you're well on this fine and dandy Tuesday. It won't be Tuesday when you're watching this video, though. Today we are in for deadlifts, well, posterior, with a lad called Pete, who looks like me, or did look like me when I had my beard. So there's an ongoing joke with that. We're in for deadlifts, dumbbell row, and arms. I'm switching my food around a bit today. So the morning, this breakfast, I'm going to go back to my prep one, which is just my yogurt and protein. And I'm going to take some sort of like carby meal for pre-training, because deadlifts are too friggin' hard to do without some sort of carbs in the system. So I need that energy oomph for picking up more than 100 kilo. So managed to do 140 for 2 sets of 5 last week, which is obviously nowhere near the most I've ever done, but it was a good baseline for me to start with. I didn't want to push it too much because my body was fried last week with my first proper week of training again. So today, me personally, I'd be happy just to get 140 for 6. That to me would be progression, small but realistic, and it means I'm not jumping the gun too much, because you can get a bit excited, can jump too far, but we'll just see how it moves. If it moves better than what I want it to move, I'll just roll with it, because it's obviously meant to be, right? So yeah, I'm gonna make my breakfast now, black coffee, already been out with the dog this morning, and get on with the day at work. What is good, everybody? So, like I promised, I'm going to run through my current, not set in stone, training plan, split, whatever, for this, what everyone calls an off season. It's not an off season, you're always on. But I've got a 4-day split. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Monday, so you probably won't be able to see this writing, but I'll just go through it anyway. So Monday, every Monday session with Ollie, train at 9, we have an hour together, because we had such good like flow in the lead up to show day, it makes sense just to carry on at least one session a week together, where we sort of push each other on a day that for me personally is a massive weakness. Ollie would probably say the same thing for himself, just to be critical, but he's a lot stronger than me on, this is a push day, so therefore it helps me try and not catch up to him, because I'm not going to get up to his level, but it can help me improve my own sort of like capacity of training in a push session. So we start Start to flat dumbbell press. Obviously we've done a warm up prior to this, just some like rotations, some barbell work. It's real like get some blood flowing because warming up is key. Start dumbbell flat press. What I will say training on this Monday is everything is just like 2 sets, maybe a couple of like drop sets here and there depending on the movement, but generally everything is like 2 sets, and everything is like either a superset or a tricep. So we've got flat dumbbell press, then we superset that with a front delt movement, which you may see in this video if I've edited it accordingly. We lay down on the bench and do some front raises with dumbbells. Just helps get a nice stretch in the front delt, and it is quite difficult. For me, I don't normally do any front delt movement, so what I've got here is a flat press, which I don't do, and then another movement which I don't do, so there's 2 things there to improve my physique. And then a tricep push down. I think usually it's the rope we're using. And then we'll move on to a neck press. This is on the Smith machine, and it's like a press behind the head. Just really, like for me, I feel it all front delt. Ollie says he feels it mainly side delt. This is the beauty of training. So obviously it's hitting your shoulder. You've got 2 different individuals who feel it in 2 very different places. Now that could be for a number of reasons. Could be the way we move the Smith machine. It could be, for example, if my side delts are more dominant than my front delts, therefore my front delts feel like they're taking the load straight away because they're weaker. It could be anything, but the good thing is we're benefiting from the movement itself. So if there's ever a movement in the gym and you think, oh, I'm supposed to be feeling it here, but I feel it more here, and if that's like a working muscle as part of the movement, maybe that's not such a bad thing and you maybe need to just stick with it. Or if it is like, this hurts in the wrong way, then yeah, just stop it. Pec deck, so focusing on like stretch here, high volume, lesser weight. With a tricep, I think it was overhead, so again, more stretchy stuff, because you'd be surprised how much work and like hypertrophy can happen when you focus more on spending longer going through a stretch phase of a movement. Yeah, it's great to contract the muscle, but can you stretch it as well to really open up and get maximal tension throughout the whole movement? And then we always do like some sort of like side variation at the end. So by the time recording this video today, we did like a real crazy movement on the cable, so 2 deandles, and we just worked in like the lengthened range. So it was like almost like partials, and then we moved straight into dumbbells, and we focused on like the shortened range. So it was raising up, holding for 2 seconds, and then coming back down. And I think for them dumbbells, we only used like either 5s or maybe pushed to 7.5s, but they were hard. So that is like a stereotypical Monday at the minute. Sort of ran that for like 3 weeks now. I just let Ollie take charge of this session, just because it's good to bounce back and forth, got different ideas and stuff, etc, etc. Tuesday is like my posterior day, so now we're going into like my own training. Start with the abductor to get like glutes area warm, then straight into deadlift. I ummed and ahed as to whether I was going to do like stiff leg again or conventional, but to begin with I'm going to go conventional and then probably switch to stiff leg sometime in the new year, maybe like, well, I'll just see how I run this for a bit, to be fair. Then onto single arm dumbbell row, same as before, so literally back to back deadlift, then the single arm dumbbell row. I feel like these 2 movements alone helped bring up my posterior chain, my thickness, my lower lat hang in some of my poses this year compared to say last year when I wasn't doing these movements. Then I'll do some hammer curls, dumbbells, just because get a good squeeze, and I'll either, so I like to do dumbbells, but sometimes I might opt for a cable behind, like the arm behind, so it's like a drag through. I don't even know if you would see that movement that I just did there, but some sort of hammer curl, work on the brachialis, helps with the forearm as well, so improvement on grip, so hopefully improvement on things like deadlift and dumbbell row. So there is a bit of method into the madness, into like the movements I'm picking, and obviously like on say a side chest shot, having a good like brachialis will also help give like an illusion of like a thicker arm. And it's not going to do everything for you, but it could help. Some calf raises in there. My calf raises are dead basic. It's usually like 3 or 4 sets, 12 reps, and I'm talking like a 2 down, 1, 2 up, 1 sort of tempo. So slow down, slow up, and a pause in both the contraction and the stretch. And I probably work at most 100 kilo on the calf raise. Then I'll do some ab crunches on the ab crunch machine that we've got at the gym. Generally just high volume, some different variations when I do it. Just depends how I feel really. And a close grip pull down, because later in the week I'll do a normal pull down on the lats. So that would be like a stereotypical Tuesday. Again, some of this may change. The things that won't change is definitely the first 3 movements. So then variations won't change for weeks on end. So it will always be abductor, always be conventional deadlift, and always be a single arm dumbbell row. These other 4, maybe not the calf raises, will maybe change here and there, but the movement is still going to be roughly the same. Wednesday, middle of the week, leg day. So I'll do adductor here, just to switch it around, get the groin nice and warm. Then I'll go onto a hip thrust as well. Again, these sort of movements here, I'm going to do like 2 to 3 sets. I usually like to throw in something daft like either a high volume set on the hip thrust, a drop set, or mainly like a cluster set. Excuse me. A cluster set on the hip thrust is more ideal than a drop set for saving time and just ease, but it's just as intense. Leg extension. Again, working my way up, getting blood around like the knee joint, getting blood into the quads, getting me switched onto them. Yeah, just work up to a top heavy set and then back off usually with a drop set, usually every time. Because the way I've set up the leg extension, I feel like I'm more hitting the top of my quad now, because I've added a pad onto the pad of the machine to give me more range of motion. So at the top of the movement, I almost feel like I'm traveling further. So like the top of my quad into like my groin area is starting to work a bit harder, and hopefully like come the next time I step on stage, that'll be more noticeable. Squat, it's either going to be hack squat favoured. If I can't do the hack squat, I'll do a Smith machine squat. Now I'm doing less volume and weight here because well, I've added in leg press, and I need to sort of like stop hammering like so much quad work, because if I do and the rest of my upper body doesn't catch up, I'll have like an imbalance in my physique. Maybe got away with it this year, but like I need to really bring up my like upper frame, so like top, chest, shoulders, lats. They're like my really weak lagging parts, and they're the things I want to spend more time on. And it just so happens that they're like the more fun things to train. Like I love legs and everyone knows it, but if I can spend more time on these other upper body movements, then I think I'll benefit long term. Then I'll do some tricep dips, again just to get something upper body in there, and some hanging knee raises. The hanging knee raises haven't really shown an appearance on the Wednesday, but after doing some abs recently, I think that's probably the best place for me to put them. And some people will probably say, do them at the beginning of my session because it's like you're lazy or whatever, but for me, I can still do them at the end, it's no problem. Thursday, another upper body session, so we're going to focus on some rear delts. I'm going to do the same movement that Ollie showed me, and I put it in a video ages ago, like single arm rear delts, just coming right across the body, getting a good stretch. And then move on to some incline dumbbell, because I felt like the last time I ran incline dumbbell, I got some massive gains off it for my chest. I'm better at incline dumbbell than I am flat dumbbell, so it'd be interesting to see how those two like correspond in terms of like progression week on week. And then I'll do a lats pull down, but I'm focusing this to be like an upper back row, usually with the silver bar, hands just a touch wider than shoulder width, and I'm bringing it down to my collarbone, top of my chest, and keeping my elbows up. And again, treating it like a row, so I'm trying to hit like traps, rhomboids area. Lats only really get hit on the way back up in the stretch. So yeah, I like to throw that in. love doing that. Then some dumbbell skull crushers, so again, more like stretch work on a tricep. Like to vary this up, so I'll have like the bench on, say, an incline, bench on a flat, or sometimes if I can really be bothered to set up, bench on a decline, allowing for like more stretch, more travel, more work on the tricep, and it does feel good. Then I would normally do some sort of side delt work, whether that's just more dumbbell raises or like a crucifix raise on the cable machine, laying down on a bench, or the actual lateral raise machine that we've got, and just do some single arm work because that's good as well. And then some hamstring curls as well. This is more like rehabilitation work for my hamstring, just to see if I can like work on contraction rather than stretch so much. And then to be fair, I haven't written it down, but I'll probably do some sort of bicep movement, whether that should be like a standard alternating curl, a cable curl, or I do quite like an easy bar curl. However, if I do an easy bar curl, I'll also just flip it over and do a reverse curl as a superset because I just can't help myself. So yeah, at the minute, this is what I've sort of come up with. Somewhat similar to last year, with a few added bits in, a few more like areas to focus on, and obviously, like I said, a bit less volume work on quads as such to try and bring up everything else. So yeah, it's like, I don't even know what you could call it. It's not really a push-pull leg split. It's like, I don't know, it's almost like a push here on Monday, and you've got like mainly lower. Well, you've got half and half, so it's like a hybrid day, so it's upper and lower, and then you've got predominantly lower with some upper, and then you've just got upper with a tiny bit of lower. Because I only train like 4 times a week, I just have to try and fit it in, and also not worry that like, oh, I'm only training 4 times a week, will I make progress? If you're talking like over a year, then that there would be absolutely fine, because I've had more time to work on each thing. But yeah, the key points of this is like 2 to 3 working sets, especially on a Monday, but I would do like drop sets and cluster sets, etc. on other days, on certain movements that I think, yeah, sometimes I just fancy it. So I think sometimes like hammer curls, I can just be working way up, absolutely fine, then just think, do you know what, I'm going to run the rack. Just something daft like that, or just like almost like a finisher on my arms, middle of the session, but it's okay. Key thing here is creating stimulus in the movements, so I'm just going to keep running these same movements, and if I feel like they're working for me, I'll keep them in. If I think like, oh, I'm not really getting what I want from it, I'll just swap it out for something similar. For example, if a dumbbell hammer curl wasn't giving me it anymore, I would go for a single arm cable hammer curl, and then maybe run back to dumbbell hammer curl as and when needed. The other key thing is slow negatives where possible on everything. So again, that's a big advocate focus of mine in training, is move the weight with control. Yes, time under tension, I probably bore everybody with that one now, but if I look at my progress over like a 4 to 5 year period, from like just moving weight to now actually focus on how I move weight, I've made substantial gains. Yes, I'm not massive, but you can see the difference. And alongside obviously good nutrition and consistency, another key factor, how you train can help massively. So yeah, moving weight with purpose. So I'm always thinking about like, what muscle am I trying to work? Am I getting it? Yes, carry on. No, move away from, because it's not helping. And that's sort of how I like to attack every single exercise in every single session. The only things where I don't really focus on things like that too much is say like a deadlift, because I just want to move the weight, and after so many reps on such a load, I start to feel the appropriate muscles anyway. So I know they are working, and maybe a single arm dumbbell row. So I don't really do too much time under tension there. I just try to move good load because I know on other movements in the week I can focus on the form a bit more, but I probably can't get the load. And I just find it quite fun just to rip up a heavyish dumbbell from the floor up to my chest and back down again. Yeah, it's quite motivating in that aspect. Yeah, if anybody has any questions on the training split that I've sort of put together, or do you need like me to answer a question on your training split or anything like that, just drop a comment in the section below and I'll get back to any of you. Hope you enjoyed this little video, little montage at the beginning, some little training clips. If you haven't already, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment like I said, and I'll see you in the next video, which I'm going to try and do eventually a full day of eating in a off season. But yeah, other than that, thank you very much for watching, hope you enjoyed, and peace.